Welcome back to another exciting episode of To the Point 101. Let's talk about it. I'm your host, Gail. Let's get ready to dive into thought provoking discussions, explore different perspectives, and uncover fascinating insights. Whether it's trending topics, love and relationships, or reconnecting to the Most High. We're here to spark meaningful conversations. So let's embark on this enlightened journey together. And hey there, by the way, just a friendly reminder to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy my content. Your support means a world to me. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on where you are watching from, it is Gail here. And today I will continue with positive discipline. Okay. And Sweet Lips will join me later. Okay, so I am going to take this part so that we can get a little further ahead in positive discipline for our children. Okay, so let's get into it. And so now we are on use your sense of humor. Use your sense. And we all have a sense of humor, right? So parenting can get too serious, especially as the children get older. Think about how you feel when you were watching babies and toddlers. It seemed like everything they do is cute and adorable. See, if you can get to the point with your children where you can truly say, aren't they cute? Developing an aren't they cute attitude can help you put your child's behavior into perspective. When you recognize their behavior as age appropriate, it helps you perceive behavior that would otherwise be annoying as cute. Babies with food all over their faces and a pile of droppings under their high chairs are adorable. So, how about looking at a teenager's room as another kind of age appropriate cute? Let's get into that right there. Huh. We're learning together. Okay. We are learning together. Think of a way your children dresses as an expression of their personality instead of a statement about you and a reflection of your parenting. And if you watch our program Monday, I spoke about that. You know, how like back in the day, even now is done also. Just what are people going to think about me? You know, it's never what is it that you're going through. It's always the parent always thinking and assuming the worst on how someone perceives their parenting style. Now, when kids are 3, they may want to dress like a superhero. At 7, a baseball player. And at 15, the uniform of the day may be baggy clothes from the Salvation Army. Sometimes parents forget to use their sense of humor or see the humor in situations with children. It's okay not to be serious all the time. It is okay not to be serious all the time. Take a load off, take your shoes off, sit down, enjoy your child. Now, try telling the reluctant chore doer as you read the local newspaper that there is an article about them in the news section. Then pretend to read how your son or daughter was interviewed and said how much they love to wash the dishes and that they won't forget that they were happy when their parents reminded them. You can do the same with horoscopes. Pretend that you are reading theirs and it says, today I will remember to hug my parents 5 times. Sense of humor, a little comical. Now, nicknames can be a fun way to keep your sense of humor, as long as they aren't used as a put down or manipulation. And those are what the fat jokes and the skinny jokes and the bald head jokes. On a ski trip, one of the kids shot down the hill before everyone else got to the stop, got to the top. His nickname became Slow Mo B. Slow Mo Boo. Hold on. Slow Mo Bo. Oh, I didn't put these glasses on. But just 1 second, guys. Now, his brother, who refused to ski at all, loved being called, I don't want to, you can't make me, no, I don't want to, not even Dawn. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like, I'm just looking at this and reading it and what I've read reflects what was going through my mind, because if a child was saying, I want to be called, I don't want to, you can't make me, no, I won't, nor even Dawn. And, I would have been looking like, that is so corny and dry. Where did you get that from? That child would feel awfully bad. So the thought of what would be said it was going through my mind. Like, where'd you get that name from? Anyway, so let's go on. For those kids who have a hard time finishing what they start, try introducing them to the beginning, middle, and end plan. Let them know that they are great at the beginning and fair on the middles, but you haven't seen an end in years. You start, you get in the middle, and it never ends. Children like being joked with about their uniqueness when parents are accepting of the differences and use a sense of humor. So allow your sense of humor to play a role into parenting, and don't let it get away from you, okay? Don't let it get to the point that you are taking that sense of humor and turning it into insults. Now get a life. Too many parents try to live through their children. Isn't that the truth? But they say, I'm reliving my teens vicariously through you. We're like, oh, your teen years are done, and this is my teen years right now that I am enjoying, and I want you to allow me to enjoy it. Now, they want their children to accomplish the things they didn't accomplish in life, or think their children should accomplish the same things they did. They don't bother to honor the feelings and desires of their children as people. And let me tell you a little background story where I can relate to this. Like, my son was an excellent soccer player. Oh, that boy can play some soccer. I mean, he was good, always played in the elite teams, got offers, college offers. And I said, take a look at some of these colleges that's writing to you. And his words, the words that came out of his mouth, I don't want to waste your money. School is not for me. Now, I finished high school, and here is your diploma, and I'm done with school. That's what he said to me. And I said, you are good at soccer. And if you're being offered a scholarship, why not take it? And he said again, I'm not wasting anybody's money or yours. I'm done with school. It didn't matter whether his closest friends, everyone was talking about college, and he was like, I'm done. I'm done. And I left it at that because for a child to come to you and say, especially after what I perceive as struggling to finish school, and I would be on like, oh, this class you have a D. What are you doing? And he was like, Mom, please stop. Please stop. Like those grades are old. I brought it up. Like I know I have to finish. Like he literally, I think high school was that change. Then they used to, you took a test and depending on how well you did, they put you in advanced classes. And when I used the word hate, he hated those classes. And I think because, first of all, when he went to the school counselor, they were like, no, you cannot come out of these classes because you need to challenge yourself. And then when he asked me to go to see if I can get him removed from those, they called them gate classes then. If I can get him out of those gate classes because the work was too much. And I thought the same thing as a teacher. Well, you just need to apply yourself because if you score that high on the test, then that is where you belong in a class that's going to challenge you and not one that you can get the work done so fast that now you're bored and what you're looking to fulfill that time, it's negative. And so from elementary school to junior high school into, I believe it was, yeah, even freshman year, he had advanced classes. And that right there, when a child is coming to you and you're saying, no, this is where you're going to remain, challenge yourself, it becomes a challenge. It becomes a challenge. And so, if I had to do it again, as I said before, you know your child. And you cannot live vicariously through your child to say, okay, well, I didn't get a chance to do it, so now you're going to do it. Well, if the school perceives you as exceptional, then you have to live up to that standard. In life, you're going to go through challenges. And when I look back on it, I just believe that had I went in there and said, go ahead and remove him from these classes, then he would not have went through elementary, junior high, and started high school not liking to live up to a challenge and wanting to just throw his hands up. Because as much as a child can be exceptional, we don't take into account the harm, the reversible harm that it has on their, I want to say their ability to complete and to compete in these challenges. So I don't believe in that. I just allow them. And when he said that with a straight face, right there, I knew oh, you are so right. You are so right. You are so right. If I'm having to help you with your homework, you are so right. And I don't think I want to take those steps in college. So, but just to say that, sometimes we have to allow our children to have a voice. in their lives. Because again, when you take that voice from and you shut them down, you do something to them mentally and they're afraid to share. And I was just glad that, you just put it out there and said, no, I'm not going to waste your money and I'm not going to waste your scholarship. Like, I'm done. But let's move on. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. This is a book called The Prophet by Khalil Gibran that I am reading, okay? So you may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls. For their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backwards, nor tarries with yesterday. The life does not go backwards. That was cute. Now, getting a life means actively following your dreams while supporting your children in following their dreams, not fulfilling where you stop at in your life, but their dreams. And I think for a lot of parents that do that, it's selfish. It does not mean neglecting your children or being permissive. This whole book is about teaching and guiding your children. When you have a full life of your own, you will have room to enjoy your children because you will not be dependent on your children. So avoid labels and drugs. Let's see what that is. Let's see what that is all about. Have you noticed that there is a tendency to label just about every misbehavior a mental or behavioral problem, ADHD or ODD, oppositional defiant disorder, separation anxiety disorder, strong will, child depression, the list goes on and on. The scary thing is that there is now a drug for every one of these labels. But most of these behaviors are normal. When we're so ready to label our children or have someone else label them, some of the behaviors are normal. For example, what some people would like to label as ODD is often a natural response from a child who is being raised by a controlling parent. Even when controlling your child, too much is done in the same name of love. It doesn't allow them to develop a sense of belonging, significance, and the problem solving skills they need. In just about every case, children will give up these behaviors when the parent uses the many positive discipline tools described in this book. Think about that, how people label. We allow doctors to label our children and then medicate them. Let that sink in for a minute. Now, have faith. Having faith in children does not mean having faith that they will always do the right thing. It means having faith in children to be who they are. Who they are. This means they will act age appropriately most of the time, which means they will not do the dishes or mow the lawn. That's so true. Now, instead of getting upset about this and acting disrespectfully, you can expect it and use respectful motivation methods. Having faith that you and your children can help each other learn from mistakes. Learn from mistakes. But I was just thinking because of yesterday I was reading about how to avoid making these mistakes. That's another thing that we have to teach them, how to avoid making them. And guess what? We have not even figured that out on our own about ourselves. Now, having faith in your children does not mean that they are ready to be on their own. They still need love, support, and help in learning life skills. And as I said before, if you have childhood trauma and you never got the help, how are you able to help your own child? You can't. And if you were told it's my way or the highway, if you don't like my rules, get out. Guess what you're going to tell your child? If you don't like my rules, get out. If you don't do what I say, get out. Suddenly it becomes all about you and not about them. So they have no identity, they just have yours. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Now, having faith gives you the patience to teach with empowering methods such as joint problem solving, following through, family meetings, and asking curiosity questions to help kids learn from their mistakes. Having faith, including keeping an eye on the long range picture and knowing that who your kids are now is not who they are going to be forever. Now, make sure the message of love gets through. That is something so important today. We need to truly make sure that that lesson of love gets through to our children, and that feeling of being unwanted. You know, sometime when you're mad, all of a sudden, I wish you wasn't born. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be in here. And, you know, now your father, it's not this. And, you know, I wish I never got pregnant with you. And ever since I had you, I've been going, those hurtful words, those words that come back to haunt us. It comes back to haunt us, but it's haunting them the whole time. Be mindful. Now, making sure the message of love gets through is the greatest gift you can give your children. Do you hear that? They form their opinions of themselves through their perception of how you feel about them. So just imagine it when you're talking to, oh, just get over there. Oh, you're getting on my nerve. You know what I mean? Take into consideration how a child is feeling when you are constantly blaming and criticizing them. When they feel loved, belonged, and significant, they have the foundation to develop their full potential to be happy, contributing members of society. Your positive influence gets through when the message of love gets through. Okay. And I love you, but I'm somewhere beating the crap out of you. And so you start to teach them that love is pain. And when your daughters go outside the door and a man is demeaning them and abusing them and doing exactly what you did to them, you're ready to go kick that door in and, oh, I'm going to do this to him and I'm going to do that to him. But you taught her that love equals pain, that love equals insults. Love means I'm going to slap you. Love means I'm going to lie. And this is what I say. What our children do outside, outdoor, is what we teach them inside of our door. Yeah. So if I tell you um, if that person's skin color is not like yours and their hair texture is not like yours, then don't play with them. You're teaching your child how to be a racist, and you're inciting hate in their lives because kids were not born a racist. They're taught to be one. Kids are taught to hate. They're taught to lie. They're taught to steal. Be mindful. The simplest way to help your child feel love is to say, I love you many times a day. Give lots of hugs and tickles and kisses. Plan special time together. And like I said, spending so much time. You have kids, cars, a house, the latest designer clothing. All of this is right there in the palm of their hands. But saying that they spent quality time, no, through all of the materialistic things that you have put before them, a lot of these children will say, all I wanted was your time. I wanted to spend time with you. And I seen the back of your head. Mhm. Be mindful. Be mindful. When they are young, it is important to spend a little time each day one on one with your children. One on one. And if you have 3, 4, 5, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, then you'd better individually spend time with all 2 to 10. 5 kids, spend individual times with them. Find out what's going on and how they are feeling. Because guess what? When you don't, someone is lost in the shuffle. Someone is lost in the shuffle. And normally those are the ones who's out here acting a plain fool. Put it all together. Those are the ones that's out here acting a fool. The ones that you say, yeah, maybe later I got to go to work and come home from work. No, now I got to feed you. Now all of a sudden it's I got to go to bed. I'm tired. I've been doing this all day. So don't you ask for anything, and don't think I want to talk to you when I just want to go to sleep. What do we know for sure? No child has to be here. Mm-mm. No, that was a decision that we made. And a lot of times that's a decision that we as women will make on our own, thinking that we're baby trapping some baby daddy. And that's why it is so important that when you date this here day and time, that you use protection. That day of trying to date someone for 2 weeks and then say, I'm having your baby. And that was not something that was an agreement. I mean, yeah, he needs to take responsibility for not using protection himself. But, and I'm going to say this and mean it when I said it, and it came out of my mouth. We as women need to stop thinking that if we trap a man that he is going to want us. We're pregnant longer than we even knew him. We meet him today, we sleep with them. All of a sudden, the relationship is not working out. You never really got to know him. He's never really gotten to know you. And in your mind, maybe he have a nice car, maybe he have a nice house, oh, he look cute, and I want my baby to look like him. Just you're lucky that they would be coming after me for the words that I would be using. Okay. Stop trapping men with babies that have no interest in you. And now here this child is born from a trap. And then here's this person out there that should be overjoyed. Oh, I have a son. And they're running They're quitting their jobs and moving to another state because really, in the end, everybody was looking for a good feeling and no one knew the other's hidden agenda. No one knew the other's hidden agenda. But responsibility falls back. And you men out there, stop thinking, oh, yeah, I got her. I was the first to hit it. Yeah, I'm going to make her have my baby. And because you never really got to know her, you weren't together long enough to know her. Because had you been learning her ways and seeing all the handwriting on the wall, you would have known that she was a miserable person and that she done went through so much trauma and drama that when it's all said and done, she was damaged goods. But for a good feeling and to go brag with your boys who you done laid, and now you're sitting there crying about this thing called child support. And oh, she took my money. She did this and she did that. No, you did it. Because everyone has a responsibility to protect yourselves from even entering into a non-agreement with someone that you barely know. Or you sit there and then realize after 99 calls and a knock on the door, and you open the door and there's the baby and she done took off. So a lot of these situations that we get ourselves into, we got ourselves into it. And who pays for it in the end? The child. Because guess what? All that you have planned in your mind is not, it's not coming into play. And now all of a sudden, here's this child, and this child is being physical and mentally abused. Like that child didn't come out of love, that child came out of lust. But it falls back on the mother each and every time. But you have some fathers that will step up and say, you know what, it is what it is. I have to take responsibility. I still don't want you, but I want to just take care of my child. I don't need to spend time with you. I just need to spend time with my child. And what do? You make it that much harder for him to spend time with his child because he will not accept you. Or you see him with someone else. I don't want my child around her. Who is she? She may be the next victim, but when it's all said and done, he wasn't yours and she wasn't yours in the beginning. It was lust. It was lust. And in the end, who suffers? That child. Especially if that child looks like the parent that walked out. I ain't going to say walked out because he was never in. He just came by for a minute, and, and one thing led to the next. And then in his mind, he was there to hit it and quit it. And in her mind, I want his baby. I don't even know him. I just know he cute. I don't even know him. I know he picked me up in a nice car. I don't even know him, but I know I went to his nice house that was probably not even his. So again, no child has to be brought into a situation. And you didn't even get to know him, or had you gotten to know him, then maybe you would have figured it out that mental illness runs in his family. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mental illness run in her family. Or she was on her meds when you met her, and she came off her meds a couple of times, and now your house is trash, your car is keyed. Put it all together. Put it all together. Now, don't forget to play with your kids. Roughhousing on the floor, going to the park, baking or cooking together, and playing games are a few ideas. The important thing is to take time for fun. Build some pleasant memories of family fun instead of staying too serious. Family fun doesn't have to take a lot of time or cost a lot of money. What it does take is a commitment and willingness to play. Next chapter is taking small steps. The road to success is best taken one step at a time. If you set your sights too high, you may never start or you may feel discouraged. If everything doesn't happen overnight, if you continue taking small steps, your movement will be forward and you and your children will benefit. Take small steps. All righty. And so I am going to stop right there. It is Sledge here without Sweet Lips. And Sweet Lips will be back later on today. Well, I thank you for allowing me to share these positive discipline parenting. Positive, positive, positive. Let's help one another. Let's bring back that village. Let's encourage one another. Let's hold each other accountable in a loving way. Okay? It is Sledge, and I will see you all soon. I don't know where you're going, but you got to get up out of here.